Welcome back. Today on the deep dive, we're tackling something, well, something I think almost everyone listening can relate to.
Uh-huh.
It's that feeling of wanting to achieve personal goals, maybe get fitter, learn something new, start that side project, but, life just gets in the way.
Absolutely. Meetings, deadlines, the commute, just being tired.
Yeah,
It pushes those personal things right off the agenda.
exactly. It feels like this universal challenge in personal development.
It really does. And for this deep dive, we've got some great material. We're pulling from the 5 a.m. Miracle, a blueprint for life transformation, and also using a narrative script that kind of brings its ideas to life.
Okay.
Our mission here is to really extract the practical stuff, the roadmap, see how some people manage to flip that switch, change their whole approach to time and actually make those goals happen.
Right. And maybe the best way to start is with a scenario. Let's imagine someone, maybe like some of you listening, they really want to get healthier, fitter.
Uh-huh. A common goal.
But the workday is just relentless. Meetings, pressure, grabbing food on the go, maybe comfort eating,
Mm-hmm.
and then the commute. By the evening, totally drained. Workout, forget it.
In there.
And this goes on day after day, week after week, until, bam, this sort of aha moment hits them.
The breaking point, maybe?
Kind of. More like a sudden clarity. They
Mm.
realize, okay, if I really want this life change, I have to change my priorities.
Yeah.
Just say it, but do it.
And that leads to...
The radical decision, setting the alarm for 5 a.m.
Wow. Okay. That's commitment.
So the big question is, why 5 a.m.? Why that specific, potentially painful time?
Well, Jeff Sanders, the author of The 5 a.m. Miracle, has a really interesting take on this. He says it's not punishment.
Right, not like you're torturing yourself.
Exactly. He frames it as a power move. It's about reclaiming time. For that employee, we imagine suddenly that early morning isn't dread. It's quiet.
Well,
Yeah, maybe with a cup of green tea, like you said. It's this uninterrupted block of time before the chaos starts. It shifts the whole feeling from obligation to, empowerment.
that's a key shift. And it makes sense when you hear about Jeff Sanders' own story.
Oh, definitely. Because he wasn't some guru living on a mountaintop. He was, like us.
A busy employee.
A full-time job, side business he was trying to build, same time crunch. And he had this specific dream, run a marathon.
Ambitious.
Very. But the problem was time. He'd read all the time management books, knew the theory, but was still incredibly frustrated, like, I know this stuff. Why can't I make time for what matters to me?
That sounds painfully familiar.
It really does. And that frustration, that's where his whole 5 a.m. miracle journey actually kicked off.
But he didn't just, flip a switch and start waking up at 5 a.m. cold turkey. That often fails.
No, and that's crucial. He talks about the gradual wake-up strategy. Super practical. Just setting the alarm 15 minutes earlier each day, or maybe every few days. No sudden shock to the system.
Okay. So you ease into it. Makes sense. It's about building a sustainable habit, not just a heroic one-week effort.
Precisely. It prevents that burnout and lets your body actually adapt, gently coaxing yourself into a new rhythm.
Okay, so it's not just about the early alarm. You mentioned it's more like a system.
Exactly. That's the core of it. The 5 a.m. miracle isn't just waking up. It's a whole strategic life planning system, which, raises the question, what are the actual pieces of this blueprint? What makes it work?
Right, because strategic life planning system can sound a bit daunting.
It can, yeah.
But the way he breaks it down seems pretty clear. First up, there's this thing called the quarter system.
Mm-hmm. The 90-day focus.
Yeah. Instead of these huge, vague, year-long goals that feel miles away, you focus intensely for 90 days. It creates these mini sprints, keeps you focused, motivated, like having finish lines along the way.
That structure seems really helpful, and it connects directly to the next piece, right? The weekly planning.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because your weekly plan isn't just a random list of tasks. You're deliberately aligning what you do this week with that bigger 90-day goal.
So it keeps you on track like a compass, making sure you're always heading towards that main objective, not just reacting to whatever pops up daily.
Exactly. And then you get into the anchor habits. I like that term.
Me too. What does it mean in this context?
It's about those key morning routines that become almost automatic triggers for your core activities. So maybe alarm goes off, you immediately put on running shoes,
Yeah.
or your journal is right there, ready to go.
So it removes the decision-making struggle, reduces that friction.
Precisely. Minimizes procrastination. For that employee we talked about, these anchors would be what actually gets them Doing the workout or meditating or whatever their goal is, it builds discipline.
I mean, gives them that energy boost for the day.
Right. And the final piece seems crucial too. Progress tracking.
Yeah, logging tasks, measuring improvement.
It sounds simple, but seeing that progress, even small steps written down, that's powerful motivation, isn't it? Tangible proof you're moving forward.
Absolutely, you can actually see the growth. It's not just a feeling.
So this whole blueprint, the quarters, the weekly plans, the anchors, the tracking, it all fits together.
It does, and it all supports this deeper philosophy Jeff Sanders talks about. He has this line, discipline beats motivation. Structure creates momentum.
Ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Motivation comes and goes, but structure, that keeps you moving.
Exactly. He also mentions discovering John Maxwell's work, specifically Your Roadmap for Success, and this idea of intentional living.
Intentional living, what did that mean for him?
It was this big realization, apparently, that you have to design your life. You can't just drift. Every morning needs purpose. Every goal needs that backing of discipline. It's about being deliberate.
Wow, okay, that's a significant mindset shift. Not just waking up early, but consciously building your day, your week, your life around what matters.
Precisely.
So bringing this all back,
Yeah.
what does this mean for someone listening right now? If we look at that employee again, their 5 a.m. decision wasn't isolated.
No, it was the entry point.
Right. The gradual wake-up made it doable. The anchor habits turned intention into action, actually getting that fitness time.
Mm-hmm.
So this deep dive, hopefully, has clarified the core idea of the 5 a.m. miracle, shown Jeff Sanders' own relatable journey, and given some practical steps, like the gradual wake-up and anchor habits.
And understanding how that 90-day system provides focus, why tracking matters.
And those anchor habits, they're really about creating non-negotiable time blocks for your priorities first thing in the morning, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like built-in time blocking.
That's a great way to put it. It embeds it right into your routine.
Ultimately, it really highlights how this kind of personal reinvention, driven by structure and intention, is pretty essential for, long-term growth.
Definitely.
So here's something to maybe think about as you go about your day. How could committing to a really structured morning routine, like we've discussed, not just free up time, but actually change your whole relationship with discipline, with your own sense of control?
Yeah, that's a powerful thought. And maybe one more. If a small, consistent change, like waking up just 15 minutes earlier, can spark such a big personal shift, what other small, consistent actions might unlock your biggest goals? Worth considering, isn't it?